I was a bit, I say painfully because, you don't know what I'm going to talk about. I totally fucked up. I don't know what my problem is today, but I'm really fucking up.
And now, here's the man you voted 117 on the world's greatest dad list. My dad, your friendly neighborhood jman.
Welcome to your friendly neighborhood J-Man's almost internet famous internet show. I am your friendly neighborhood J-Man. Well, folks, I did it. I finally did it. After years of not trying, decades really, decades of lamenting, complaining, and all around whining, I finally managed to scam my way into the toy industry's biggest annual event, Toy Fair, or as we in the biz call it, American International Toy Fair. And it was almost as magical as you can imagine. I say almost because you guys are so used to watching TV and using the internets that your imaginations are as shriveled up as, well, something really disgusting and shriveled up. I guess what I'm trying to say here in a rather insulting roundabout way is that Toy Fair 2014 was completely and utterly fucking awesome. And I'm pretty sure my life will never be the same because of it. Okay, are you right now, like my mother earlier, asking, what is Toy Fair anyway, Jesse? What's the deal? Do you get dressed up? What do you do there? If questions like these are running through your mind right now, then it's time for a title sequence. The American International Toy Fair, or Toy Fair, is an annual event held in New York City and put on by the Toy Industry Association, or the TIA. This year's event ran from February 16th to the 20th. 2014 also marks the 111th anniversary of Toy Fair, which makes it even more super awesome because A, I was there, and B, so was Miss Alicia Keys, who opened up the event. Don't believe any of the rumors, folks. It was just coincidence. Alicia and I were just friends. Toy Fair is held in the same palatial glass palace that holds NYCC, New York Comic Con. That's the Jacob Javits Convention Center. Even though they're held in the same building, the two events couldn't be any more different. Okay, maybe there are some similarities between NYCC and Toy Fair, but in sheer size and scope, NYCC pales in comparison. And yes, it wasn't that long ago that I thought that NYCC was the end-all be-all of conventions. New York Comic Con blew everything prior that I had seen, did, or touched completely and utterly away. Believe you me, NYCC has nothing on Toy Fair. Sorry guys, I still love NYCC, but let me try and put this into some perspective for you. Toy Fair clocks in at 420,000 square feet of space. I know I tend to exaggerate a lot, but I shit you not when I say that is the equivalent of 7 football fields. To compare, I did a little fact checking to find out the actual square footage of NYCC. The only thing my short attention span could dig up was that there were 130,000 people in attendance at NYCC for 2013. How that translates into square footage, I have no idea. All I know is that I walked so much in 2 days at Toy Fair, my feet bled. At least it felt like they did. Any way you look at it, 420,000 square feet holds a lot of toys, none of which could be bought. Unless you were a buyer for a retail establishment of some sort, which I am not. But even then, you could only purchase product for your store, not for yourself. If that isn't the biggest flippin' tease ever, I don't know what is. Surrounded by all those toys and none to buy. It's a nightmare for a strip club. Still though, Toy Fair was a ton of fun. They had every imaginable toy there. From big to small, they had it all. And that's not a tagline either. I just made that shit up. I got to ride this remote control, nearly surfboard size skateboard. It was a bit surreal, really. I'm chatting it up with the owner of Mavericks. Next thing I know, he's shoving the remote into my hand and pushing me onto the board. I haven't ridden a skateboard in about 30 years. That's how old I am. Needless to say, I was a bit apprehensive. Zing Toys was at Toy Fair too. They make these painfully cool bow and arrows that put anything Nerf makes to shame. I say painfully cool because until you get hit by one of these things, you won't know exactly what I mean. Anyway, Zing's had a really cool setup at Toy Fair. They had this nice plexiglass firing range that at the opposite end, someone was able to stand behind the glass and be fired upon, which my pal Paco Rabanne so kindly volunteered to do. I also had a brush with greatness at Toy Fair. I was this close to meeting artist, creator, toy manufacturer extraordinaire Todd McFarlane. When I say I was this close, I mean it. I walked by him at least once and was within arm-grabbing, complete fanboy rage at least 3 separate times.
I'll take you home and lock you in a nice little cage and never, ever let you out except to pet you and love you and hug you and squeeze you all up.
I said nothing though. I totally played it cool. It was a bit reminiscent of another time I had at the Javits Center not very long ago. Case in point, I went up to Ron Garney, who's just sitting there, drawing, minding his own business. I watched him do his craft for a bit, and I finally spoke up. I said to him, "You must hear this all the time, but I really love your work." And he just kept working. He was so consumed with what he was doing. After a moment or two, he must have realized I was standing there, and he spoke up. He said something like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know you were there." I just smiled politely and I said, "I was just saying, I know you probably hear this a lot, but I like your work." He smiled graciously enough. "Thanks. Thanks for saying that," he said. Then he nodded at my shirt. "Cool shirt." And I said, "Yeah, I just wear it." I really just said that. Duh. What a idiot. And one of the things I like to do at cons is get my picture taken with cosplayers. Now, Toy Fair is no con, but there were still mascots there, and I did manage to get my picture taken with them. I know, total noob, what can I say? But there was this one chick, man, she was having no parts of me, and no way she wanted to get her picture taken. And of course, the real reason I wanted to go, action figures. Lots of great stuff being shown and coming out in 2014. That's the curse of Toy Fair, though. You get to see all the awesome goodies at the beginning of the year, and then you gotta wait the rest to get them. Tom Petty wasn't f***ing around when he said that the waiting is the hardest part. The best part of the whole trip, though, that's easy. When I finally got home at 8 o'clock at night. After 2 long days of walking and overstimulation, I was totally looking forward to laying in bed and doing absolutely nothing. I got in the car that I had parked at Paco's house, put the key in the ignition, and that motherfucking car wouldn't start. Sure, it was 10 below, and the car had been sitting all day. Big deal. That's no reason for the battery to give out on one of the coldest nights of the year, right before yet another major snowstorm. Of course, getting a battery at 9 o'clock at night, because I spent an hour trying to jump the thing, was totally easy too. But there is a happy ending. Not that kind. Paco and I managed to get the battery installed in short order, and I was snug as a bug in a rug before I knew it. I told you there was a happy ending, just not the good kind. So, the moral of the story?
Don't have kids.
Don't have kids. But the other moral of the story? Don't give up on your dreams, even if they're as shallow as getting your ass into Toy Fair.
Heads up.
That was all there.
It wasn't me.
That was all there.
You get the teeth of the hydra upon you. You dirty Satan, you my girl.